This case is how Burutai, got to Benin Republic for Igboho, extradition to Nigeria. And also, we'll be talking about KANU and Nigerians' funny lawyers. It was my young daughter who is in her first year in the university studying law that called my attention to the very negative way and manner some Nigerians lawyers she used to hold in very high esteem are behaving these days. She showed me and a news item wherein a lawyer to Nnamdi, leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, was asking the government of England to direct Nigerian emphasis to release the man whose actions has led to the killings of hundreds of innocent compatriots, some of who are Igbo, for the reason that he holds a British passport as a citizen. The young woman then asked, can a sovereign state like Nigeria be directed by another country to release someone in its custody just because he is a citizen of that country? What of thousands of Nigerians holding Nigerian passports that are in jail in Britain? Can we direct England to simply release them to Nigeria without facing trial for crimes they have committed there? That's the question she has asked. We had not finished that topic when all of a sudden Sunday Adeyemo, better known as Igboho, a self-styled agitator for self-determination for the Yoruba, was arrested by the security officials of Benin Republic. She also showed me a publication in which one of the lawyers holding brief for Igboho asked the government of Benin to release the man he represents and also allow him continue on his intended trip to Germany, for the ridiculous reason that Igboho has submitted a case against Nigeria in the International Criminal Court, which is the ICC. I did not realize when I exploded in anger when I saw the news item when the lawyers in Nigeria start reducing themselves to the ridiculous level where one of them, a senior one at that, could make such very cheap and very unfortunate claims. As I was furious, I said, so why not all criminals in Nigeria or those charged for committing heinous crimes against the Nigerian state engage lawyers and ask them to write a petition to the ICC and use that as immunity against prosecution? Should the Nigerian Bar Association allow this kind of crass ignorance of international law to continue in the name of law practice? To their sympathizers, both KANU and Igboho are not criminals, since all they are clamoring for is a separate nation for their people. But the question any sensible person should ask is whether Nigeria can be disembarked on the violent times between or being initiated by KANU and Igboho. This country concluded a bitter civil war 51 years ago, and the end did not justify the means. The country reportedly lost about 1 million citizens with humongous resources that have not yet been fully quantified. So, since the purpose of history is not just to tell us about our past, but also to guide us as to our future, how do we allow one or two individuals to keep misleading us into thinking this country can be balkanized in the unfortunate way and manner they envisaged? Even if we want to go our separate ways, as Igboho and KANU desperately want, it cannot by their methods that encourage violence and defiance against law and order. We have lived together as a nation for over 100 years with intermarriages and other deep, almost permanent connections. Well, I disagree with this man and his daughter by saying if they want to go by the separatists or by separate, if Nigeria wants to go a separate way, either Igboho leading the separatists or Nnamdi, just because you don't know where the shoe pains. When Fulani and the so-called cabals of Fulani, massacre, kill your people, your daughter that brought out the issue, if Fulani has, killed that person and no justice is prevailing, you would not say such. Yes, you might be saying Nigeria may not be able to separate, but the agitation, what warranted the agitation? That's the question. Because at first they were thinking the government was going to come to their rescue when we are under democracy, fundamental human rights, which justice should prevail. but instead the government keep deaf ears to those Fulani killing the people in Ibarapa, in Oyo, and all the way to southeast just to Fulanize the country. Killing has been ongoing and no one is saying anything about it. If not that the northern part of the country, they are so timid and foolish, the killing that is going on in there, they have nothing to say about it. If they can protest also, if the government of the day does not rescue them or salvage the situation in the northern region as it is, I believe they must have eradicated most of them, and they don't have anything to say. And the reason why the government of today is not saying anything because they have an agenda. That's my opinion though, but notwithstanding, that's the truth about all this whole thing. Well, to continue, so since the purpose of history is not just to tell us about our past, but also to guide us as to our future, how do we allow one or two individual mislead us? That's your opinion. Curiously, the two guys agitating for dismemberment of this country have solid second addresses. KANU owes British citizens and has the resources to live permanently in peace and luxury there. Well, Igboho is a Nigerian, is said to be married to a German citizen, on the basis of which he also can run to that country and live in peace and luxury there. I dispute that. I disagree with that. When they were fighting for the secession, Igboho was in Nigeria. Even when Nnamdi, before he ran to UK or thereabout, he was in Nigeria. They were fighting for the people in Nigeria. He has what's it called? He has passport of Nigeria. He has properties in Nigeria. So why will you tell me they are just fighting a blind fight? Or how do you mean that they can run? Why would they run? The person will run and go come back definitely. But the issue is that since they are well to do and you deem it fit that they will run definitely. So there's no need fighting for the Yoruba race since they have other means, which is the plan B. Well, and what of the average Igbo businessman who was born in KANU and has lived all his life there and has benefited from a peaceful and prosperous atmosphere that has made him the owner of massive properties all over the place? Well, let me answer that question. The question or the answer to that question is when the Fulani Kabas or the Fulani agenda is well established. Those Igbo or the Yoruba, the foreigners in the northern part of the country, if care is not taken, they will be killed or displace them of their properties. That's the right answer for me to give you, no mincing word. Well, he continued and saying, does KANU or Igboho realize he stands to be a loser if this country is suddenly disembarked without due consideration for his situation? Okay, you're asking a question. Well, I know of countless Igbo men who have never stepped anywhere in the southeast and have been integrated as members of the northern society that they have been part